But well, let's take a look at our map bans. As in the meantime, I would like to extend a ton of congratulations to one of the most well-known players in all of Pro League, especially in Latin America. Earlier today, Zig from Team Liquid got married.
Oh, congratulations.
And we'll remind you that he got engaged from basically at the end of the first Pro League season for Latin America in the studio, and today he finally got married. And, you know, congratulations, Zig. Hats off to you. It's great. It's always good to see our good friends very happy, and I wish you and your wife a long and prosperous life.
Now we know where they should go on honeymoon.
There you go. Ibiza. Coastline will be our map for yet another time today, which definitely is very exciting as a fan of Coastline myself. I like the colors. Colors are nice.
Yeah. But it also means no Coastline next week. Or next
week.
Is there 2 NAs this week?
Oh, tomorrow.
I can't even keep straight, so maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the effective Super Weeks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or Super Month, Super Year, whatever you want to call it. Super duper.
Well, let's see what you guys thought in terms of community vote. That's bit of a harsh reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But we're very well put.
But that being said, that just means there's room to grow for the team. So in this case, they didn't have the stellar performance I'm sure they were hoping for and expecting last week. This is an even tougher battle. But as I was saying last time, baptism by fire. In this case, maybe the Nyx wasn't working out. They're replacing him with Tomas. We'll see how Tomas does. If Tomas does well, even if they don't win this match, that bodes well for them going forward as they can continue to improve from here, as they have 6 months to do so. So,
well, technically 5. But
yeah, that community vote could shift over time.
And maybe a bit less, because like, in a month,
I don't
crazy.
Know
Actually,
I'm gonna pretend it's like super long.
Today is January 14th. In exactly 1 month, we'll be at the end of the 3rd day of group stage for Invitational. It's crazy. Crazy how nature do that.
It's gonna be nuts. Oh, Blackbeard, again, banned here. This is no surprise. The Monty, definitely going to be something that they do not want to deal with on EG. We'll see what Accelerate's second ban is going to be. Hopefully they've done their homework to know what to ban against Evil Geniuses. Usually that's a Pulse or a Vigil if you want to make Canadian feel the pressure. At least historically that may have changed over time. But Maestro, again, going to get the axe here.
Axe me again. Is it going to be Mira? Echo.
Ooh. There we go. Well, this means the Valkyrie is going to be that much more important, though.
Oh, which actually I haven't seen a ton of IQ today.
Yeah, definitely something we haven't seen a lot of. Yeah. Definitely a possibility now, though, is you may want to deal with some of those outside camps. Some of those do lead to spawn peaks, especially on the side that is the DJ balcony sort of thing. Tends to lead to that to an extent. And Tomas, hearing your call, got to be trying to look for them cams if they come in. But so far, they are not showing a Valkyrie pick. They could 6th pick to it. Now the real phase is over. And, of course, Canadian not going to stick on the Clash. But,
damn.
Well, so they're starting out with the Rook Dock. Although usually Gotcha is not the dock. See how this goes down. Starting off in Hookah yet again. Seems to be the popular starting place here now.
Never seen this set ever.
Yeah.
One thing actually I'd like to say, Bio and Achieved actually played on EG
with them as
for the qualifier to USN.
Speaking of Geo getting replaced, even when it's not.
Canadian and Geo were both replaced for that.
And that was the case because, of course, Geo being Mexican citizen and Canadian being...
Canadian.
Yeah. It would be funny if it was the other way around, if Geo was...
Is Canada a country?
What?
Is it even a country?
One of them. A very, very large icy city.
Honestly, from the pictures that I keep seeing everybody posting from Montreal right now, yeah, it's like -15 there. I love it.
The best part is we always do the invitational during the snowy season. Ooh, Canadian making use of that ACOG, but not quite landing enough shots. Hitting the railing quite a bit as well, but didn't seem to matter. But hey, what better way to punish the noob?
You can say they gave him the cold shoulder.
Oh.
So sorry. How do you even deal with it?
Being just as bad.
Just the right amount of drugs.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, let's see how they can start out this first round. They're going to have to play things smart here because EG definitely are a slouch. They've had enough times of losing to aggressive teams that come out of other regions, not in Pro League and things like that, that they should be, in theory, better well prepared for it. And I say other regions and stuff like that, I mean other regions like Fnatic, but ooh, achieved with a nice kill. Gotcha. Yeah, appropriately named for that kill.
Now, in the meantime, Canadian's going to be looking down from the hookah site, just trying to find a player maybe on the rappel here. Not the case, so I won't be able to get anything early on a trade. Of course, we mentioned this many, many times. Trades are very important, especially when you're playing on the defense. Now, there should be an ADS there to protect Young, as it's a bit difficult for him to survive the grenade. If it is thrown in, and the last frag grenade will just be used to destroy the barbed wire. This will allow Young to peek in, and Necrox and MVK will find a kill each. A flurry here with 3 kills, the way of EG. Necrox taking a ton of damage, but it's Crusher and Schlongy. Crushing Schlong. Last 2 alive here for Excelerate, and they're going to have to speed up their gameplay to win on this one. The headshot. Canadian finished off 2v3. Advantage still for Evil Geniuses. As now they have the fuser. That's all that they need. But Crusher again, he'll find it. NVK taken out. Smoke canister will get thrown into the back. Young playing behind his reinforced shield as Crusher will face the wall of smoke. He can't really find the correct angle on Young, as Young will win the duel. And he can go for the finisher, but he waits maybe Schlongy in the back. Has to retrieve that diffuser off of the floor or win one. Necrox taken out. 1v1 now as Young will destroy. And no, as he goes in for the fight, he has to go for the reload. Shotgun in hand, and there you go. He'll long arm it. Young will find it and clutch the round for Evil Geniuses. That got a bit too close as Crusher does so much damage on the Havana.
That certainly was a very good round. You don't usually see a ton of kills coming out from the Havana players. Usually they're playing a little more safe. But when all your team's dead around you, kind of gotta bring out the gun there. Yeah. Start doing some work. But not a bad round at all for Excelerate, who brought that very close. We often see the first round or two going a bit worse for some of the stronger teams, as they seem to take that time to warm up, feel out the other team. Might actually take a few rounds to kind of feel out Excelerate, as there isn't a ton of knowledge about them. But as you mentioned, though, Achieved and Bio are a little bit more of a known quantity to these players than they might be to some others, just because they'd played with them in the past during the USN qualifiers. Kitchen going to be the second site here. See if this gets as close. This is going to be a downstairs bomb site now, so top floor control going to be just as important, but it's not to attack the site itself, and it's not going to be hookah above it. Instead, it's going to be trying to get control of that penthouse VIP theater kind of area. Put some hurt down here. Some slight role changes on defense. Canadian and NVK, that's the usual Doc-Rook combo. Gotcha instead going to be on Jaeger this time. And Young instead of Mute going to be on Legion. Attack not really changing up too much. Schlongy's Ash working out pretty well last time as well. But they were a little late on some of those kills while the rest of their team died. We'll see if Achieve is able to get some shots done above where Young's positioned, so he cannot use that shield to defend. It is a good shield position because it helps him defend a little bit more so against the window, because he can extend himself out more around the corner. But also then to deal with that doorway, which so many attackers will run through once smoke starts going down. We saw, Ying Candelas come out, things like that, to try and rush in for a plant once they feel like they have some control. That's a lot safer approach than delivery. Ooh, Canadian again using some railings here to his advantage. And again, almost finding Bio.
He spotted the buttstock of that of the crossbow.
It doesn't stick up as far, I think, as Sledge's sledgehammer.
No, but
it's still a shark fin.
It's still fair. Oddly enough, he'll go for it, and Bio will win it out.
Wow, nice punish.
A lot of damage here done to the Capitao still, but
worth
Canadian. Yeah, totally worth it here. You eliminated one of the strongest players on the squad. It's interesting how Canadian has moved on from the IGL role to more of the fragging role for EG. It definitely has breathed new life into one of the best players in North America.
It's definitely something that works sometimes and doesn't work others. You definitely see him sometimes dying very early in rounds. He also may be playing quite a bit of Twitch on attack if the last time is any indicator.
Yes. It's a good operator, the F2. Pretty good gun, right?
Pretty good.
And Achieve continuing on, going in for the drone. They still need to support their teammates here. Now, a lot of times you'll be seeing a Frost, for example, being played on here. So yes, he does get played. achieve just looking on down. Of course, this, oh, Schlongy, beautiful angle. NVK will get the kill. Now, what I mean by the frost, just because a lot of times when you're playing in the kitchen, it takes so long for the attackers to really find an opening that those traps actually do quite a bit of work. And in this case, they're not going to be any problem. Of course, she's not in here, but Gotcha is the last man alive, and I'll have to deal with the rest. And 2 kills for Gotcha as he dives in on the outside, tries to fire into the main window, but the goo mines will at least save him from the kitchen pantry for just a second. Peeks out against the lead. Is that the IQ outside? I'm not too sure. Gotcha just moving from the opposite end. Of course, the wall is reinforced, and yes, indeed, it is Thomas on the IQ. Gotcha going in for the full reload. And unfortunately, the soft wall setup with half of it being broken apart is really what playing against them. And there you go, Thomas will find it. Gotcha will go down. Bit of a Tom and Jerry kind of moment there.
What I found interesting that round was NVK and Canadian both losing their life because it was to a 3-speed and they were a 1-speed. Situation where, I mean, first off, a lot of people forget Capitão's a 3-speed.
Yes.
And second off, it's one of those things that they were trying to work angles, but they just didn't have the speed advantage in doing so, because you saw both of those come down to just shot getting fired by the 3-speed attacker first. It's one of those things where, you know, we were talking earlier about the advantages of speed and things like that. Definitely something you can exploit if your aim and reactions are on point. You can take advantage of that slight benefit you get. Speaking of Frost, Gotcha actually going to tease it, but switch off to the mute.
Frost, she's a pretty good operator, actually,
especially on this particular bomb site. You definitely want to usually put a mat somewhere behind the desk or to the side of the door. Situations where when they're trying to run in, they don't really have a lot of ability to look around if they haven't droned it properly.
I say it quite often, you know, obviously and of course and these sort of words, but I'd like to, you know, spend a bit more time elaborating on these things in the future, just so, you know, we're all on the same level playing field. And that, I don't want to, you know, take anything in as, oh, this is a Holy Bible truth, when in reality, there's a lot of people that can benefit from quite a bit of information here to learn from these players and the way that they do things. So Young, I'm not sure if he's going to run on Black Mirror in this situation, or in specifically this position, which would be very odd, but he's going to fall down. Still has one in his back pocket, and should be running it on the site here. Should make a lot of sense. As he's going to destroy the top part of the wall, and then the second one right behind the B site in the kitchen itself. Very standard so far. Just have an extra window upstairs. They'll help the defenders at least maneuver around by giving a bit more information.
Interesting the role changes as well, because you have Canadian now, instead of being on the Rook, he's going to be switching over to the Jaeger, taking it from Gotcha and switching Gotcha onto the mute.
And it's always interesting. The Necrox will always stick to that smoke.
He's been, you know, playing it for a very long time.
It's like Boonsy.
Yeah.
They are basically the mirror players on, at least on defense for those two regions. The Crusher will open up a wall here with the Exkyros that allows them to look all the way down through the hallway. So we'll give complete control over to one of the angles that the defenders might utilize to their advantage in a retake, or even to get a bit more aggressive against the attackers here. Close angles, but of course the ACOG here will have a clear advantage. Definitely not a position where EG would like to find themselves. Schlongy will get 1 kill on MVK as he moves in through the security area and will clear it out completely. Usually a difficult position for you to go through. MVK easily dispatched with no damage done to the Ash Schlongy.
Well, Canadian does finally take down Crusher, who is on that Type 89 yet again. So that means some X-Kairos off the board. Ooh, but Tomas trading it back, and Gotcha trading it back again. This is EG, though, in an advantage finally, and now a 2-man advantage.
And you saw the mirror window was popped there. So now this actually works so well in EG's favor. Thomas spotted there at the end. Canadian making sure the magazine is running and feeding very well. And there you go, feeds it. Yet another kill. Beautiful play there from EG. Kind of completely shifting the way that they were doing things with not only the role swaps, but just the positioning. It kind of reminds me, with the way the Jaeger was played there, kind of reminds me of how Joystick was running it on Team Empire for EU. Just the entire round benefiting from information from his teammates and just moving around the map, constantly being a threat to his opponents.
It's definitely something that is very problematic and something Canadian's comfortable at, which is why you see him on the Vigil, which he may or may not stick to, but he often does stick it.
Great Vigil.
In this case, he's not going to. He's just going to try and get the extra intel of having those cameras we were talking about. So we will benefit from those. But Bio sneaking a little bit of Redeemer. Nope, Canadian actually going to stick to a different intel-like operator. Although unlike Valkyrie, these do some damage.
Protect your bombs from being defused by
and also prevent you from planting. So some nice extra side benefits. Curious to see if Bio could do half of what Redeemer is able to accomplish with those Candelas. But it is tricky. It's definitely something we used to see a lot more of on this map, mostly from Hungary. Definitely something we've seen some other teams occasionally pick up for different maps.
I think at this point, Sir Boss kind of, in my opinion, gotten better than Hungary at the gameplay.
Yeah, which is interesting since they're on the same team.
Yes, and actually, if you look at the track record, Hungary has been playing a ton less Ying. He does play more of a dedicated smoke on defense, obviously, but on the attacking side, it's definitely not an operator he's sticking to too often nowadays. So, in my opinion, still, Sir Boss even finds a different way to run it compared to Hungary. Now, the 612 Ying is definitely a highlight, but, you know.
So it seems like the one speed rolls and Jaeger seems to be swapping around a lot because now NVK, instead of being on the dock, once again swapping with Gotcha in a way, but he's going to be on the Jaeger and Gotcha going to be on the dock.
Back in the Jaeger again.
And it's certainly a case where it's there's a team known to make lots of adjustments round per round as needed based off what they see from the team. So
you might say that NVK playing the Jaeger is looking to hunt down his opponents.
Yes. Yes, I know what that means. Thanks to Pacific Rim.
Drones up and running.
It taught me so much.
That's an alright movie. Not that great.
Not gonna get into it here.
I don't know, Gundam style stuff are not really my thing anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, flashbangs coming in here as Canadian will maneuver himself and put himself in to the blue bar. No attacking just yet. As EXG, actually 3 players turning their eyes onto the opposite end, which gives Necrox the perfect opportunity to strike. They'll find Crusher and rush him to death here. Losing the Capital means no more smokes. The only 2 that you had. Canadians setting up goo mines everywhere, but one of them will get shot down by the Ash, which should be more than enough information, plenty of it, for Canadian to realize, hey, Schlongy's down here, let's just, you know, lurk around. And he does have support of his teammates. Necrox this is something that, you know, people should start to know, which is that you can glitch the smokes.
Yeah, they can go through walls, and there are situations where you can take advantage of that, like where you see pre-planting right there, because then you can use that when they go for the plant, and that is allowed.
Yes.
If there was any confusion about that, people wondering, that is something that is allowed, that is situations and where you will see people using that, especially now that more people know it's allowed.
All right,
there it is.
There you go. It's right there. Bio will do the damage, and Thomas, flank watch extraordinaire. Gotcha will get shot down, and you lose the dock. Not obviously the end of the world here, as there's 48 seconds left on the clock. The ADS is really struggling to deal with the amount of Candelas that are thrown in. Bio very low on health here. Canadian actually dropped low as well. The Candela will get shot. Necrox will just turn around. Young will find one, but Canadians dropped and taken out by Achieve instantly. Refrag for 3v3. Schlongy and Achieve will find 2, and Necrox will 1 on Thomas. The most important impact frag in that situation definitely will go the way of Necrox, and Young with 1 more on Schlongy. 1 more for the cross. Necrox will set himself up with the shotgun. He's got hold of the diffuser, and that's Young to trade against Achieve, but that's all that's needed. The round will go the way of evil geniuses.
Between Necrox and Young, just such a thorn in their side that round. The way the Necrox was playing so aggressively. You usually see the smoke playing in hookah, but that of course exposes you to that hookah window, which does become more dangerous. So smokes are starting to try and be a little more flexible in how they play in there. His ability to play the bar, which is usually you see someone else playing the bar to help out, but his ability to play it and take advantage of what he could do with the smoke, as well as when he caught them all from behind that opportunity where they were all facing the other direction towards luggage. Just a good catch there and great play from him. Some good strategy coming out for their second attempt. They did win both times, though, on hookah. It was only Kitchen they have lost so far. So Achieved going from one vertical operator to the other, in this case one that can only work downwards. He's going to be going from Buck to Sledgy, the way you both did grenades. Another quote-unquote side grade, as you were saying earlier. So,
yeah, I'm sure with you we can get into the details of game design for quite a bit, as you yourself have had decent chunk of experience in making video games for the kids.
Much longer subject than we can get into mid-match. But yeah, it is very nice, as you mentioned earlier, to see those opportunities for player choice. That it might be a little obvious, but I like how it's looking the exact opposite direction of the move camera.
Because it goes all the way inside.
The light, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
You can't spot it. It's very difficult. You have to turn around because, as you mentioned, it's looking the other way.
I guess it's a case of, yeah, it's true, because you're not going to be facing it, but you're not going to be coming through the theater. That's a good point. You're not going to see it, because even with the blue light lit up, unless you're planting in that one corner, you're not going to see it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Time to learn it. Everybody check for it when you're playing, because that's going to be in rank for next week.
Well, there is a ridiculous amount of spots, and that's where IQ comes into play, which Tomas has been playing fairly consistently.
Oh, yes.
Oh, speaking of the black eye cameras, did not catch that one out there.
Bomb located
Gotcha,
by
appropriately
attackers.
named. Again.
Gotcha. All right, he'll go back up the stairs. As in the meantime, EXG and the whole squad is just running around. Tom's in the meantime taking his time to clear out VIP. Okay, there's nobody in there. You see the reinforcements. No one's sitting by the bookshelf, so maybe it's time for we can actually go into VIP and be sort of comfortable with any positions or map control that is afforded to us or given to us by the evilest of geniuses.
It is interesting that they chose to go to Penthouse before Bar, though, because that's kind of the opposite of what we
Oh, the run out! He'll get 1 and 2! Gotcha! We'll finish them off. Bio and achieved.
That cam absolutely paying off there.
Huge bit of play here.
Slongy, that was on you to protect them, unfortunately.
Oh, no. This is where it all spirals out of control, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Slongy might have been on a drone or something at that time, had not the opportunity to be watching for that run out, but that is the danger of repelling that window. That Lamborghini door is difficult. You can't really just claymore the whole thing and hope for the best. But a lot of shots coming down on Young's feet.
He'll drop him even. That's huge bit of play. Crusher's low on health as well. You see Evil Genius is pushing Necrox with 1. And can they find the last? Schlongy on his own will have to go through the hallway. He'll find the head of MVK on the Jaeger there, but Necrox is ready for the finisher. And that's all that was required. Evil Genius's beautiful bit of play, all starting off with Gotch's fantastic 2-man run out. This next C4 to kind of...
it's a celebratory firework.
I'm struggling to say this, but like the cherry on top of the cake, but you know, it's kind of a cherry because there's a red light.
Wait, who puts cherry on top of a cake?
Exactly.
That's what you mean, like a cupcake or something. Otherwise, it's just kind of weird.
Cherry on a cake?
I mean, you could put multiple cherries, but one?
Yeah, just decorative.
I guess. Hopefully,
I know.
Hopefully, double functions as like a candle or something.
I know. In your mind, it's like, well, I want to have my cake and eat it. In which case, I would say, why would you have a cake if you're not planning to eat it?
Diabetes.
Actually, since you know more,
maybe I want to share with others.
Can you do like these Condarelle style of cakes with like sugar? How do you say?
Well, like splendors?
Yes.
I would imagine.
I'm pretty sure there's like diabetes thing cakes. They wouldn't be the same taste.
No, it's not. It's not.
No. I'm cutting down on my sugars. Still get a lot of love though, so it's some sugar.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know, you gotta get swole. You gotta look good.
It's that R6 fit.
Actually, yes. I had so much fun today. So, people that don't know, I don't know if you checked the Rainbow Six Twitter for the past couple of days. They posted "Get Fit with Rainbow Six." You know, it's like, hey, whenever you play, you know, hey, you were the first to die on your team. Good. Now you're gonna do sit-ups for the rest of the round until it's over. And
so you did a lot of sit-ups.
All right.
That's why it works so well.
I did that today for 2 hours, and let's just say I needed a shower after.
Well, in this case, the shower.
Perfect transition.
There you go.
Drone ready.
Right on in, pretty much, to the shower. But he's going to not really get thwarted too much by that mute jammer. Being able to get all the intel he needs in the room. You see where the mirror is on the other side, on the soft wall. It looked like both walls were soft. Oh, the angle from Young, that almost worked. But he caught onto it just at the right time.
Oh yeah, I see the angle that is afforded there, and it's a pretty long range one with a you know, compact rifle, like the Vector, but still, you can make it happen. It's actually fairly controllable, even at range like that.
Well, first shot's still going to be pretty on point.
Indeed. Undoubtedly. Indubitably.
Well, Gotcha taking advantage of this window that he has here to be able to play this. I'm not sure if he knows there's two people there or not, and that could be the biggest problem for him, but they're going to have to come in through that doorway. There's not really much they can do. However, Crusher,
mute jammers.
That. Oh, the mute jammers, yeah, definitely doing some work. Thatcher, though, there to back it up. Tomas playing something other than IQ actually working out here for him.
That's true.
Up yet.
Did the MP hit? Oh, beautiful. Gotcha getting shot down, and there you go. Canadian with another one. NVK will refrag, though, taking down Schlongi. Yet again, either the first man to fall or the last one. As Buck now achieved. Happy with the achievements of the team so far in this round. We'll just destroy the floorboard and have at it. You've earned it.
Why not? Yeah, they're definitely looking pretty good this round so far. They've only picked up one, but this is actually looking doable here. However, the 3 players that are left, definitely not going to be easy to roll over.
A bomb has
Plus,
been
they're
located.
looking like they're not exactly sure how they want to attack this yet, from which side. And BK peeking the window. Thankfully for Bio, he is just crouched down enough behind the wall. Achieved hoping to catch someone with his grenade. Oh, this scares him away, but no damage done.
A tiny bit.
Just enough, but you know, you've got NVK there to heal up as well if needed. And it looks like you might need to, as Necroc's now down to about 50 HP.
It's all the grenades being used up by Accelerate. We'll have to enter in as the EMP's already been thrown in, as you guys can tell.
15 seconds to
Down
go.
one.
Yeah, he was able to find it, and there you go. Necroc's on the floor, and now he pulls out the shotgun. And once they get closer up, he'll find damage at range as he goes in for the last gas canister in hand. Achieved will come in as MVK will turn it into a 2v2. Extra HP is all that's required. Now as Young will turn around and get one. Last is the Capitao, and Young again with a 2K to clean up the round. Beautiful play. Evil Geniuses and EXG find themselves against the wall between a rock and a hard place.
Well, it was not a flawless 6 rounds, but it certainly was fairly close.
Oh, yes.
They're definitely looking pretty good going into this. Of course, not match point yet, but dangerously close to it. Hookah, again, the starting place here for Accelerate.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of a pattern here, at least for NA tonight.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone. We had one start on kitchen, one start on bar, but at least half of the time. Now slightly more than half. So yeah, it's definitely a popular site at the moment, which is it's good to see, because this was actually the least popular site for a while to an extent. So it's definitely catching up there. Achieved actually going to be sneaking in the Vigil, pretending to be the Doc first. And then Gotcha was actually going to play the Glaz in theory, but nope, he's going to switch it off. Jackal not being banned this time will get brought out
Attackers need to locate and
by
defuse
Necrox.
bombs.
It's really interesting. I don't recall seeing a lot of Necrox playing Jackal, so this is, at least in my recollection, something newer for him to be playing as. Should be interesting to see how that goes. And BK actually going to be bringing that IQ as well, because like we were saying, with the lack of the Maestro and the Echo, probably going to be seeing a lot of Valkyrie, which means, of course, being able to see both of the, or see all the cameras and everything like that, definitely going to work out.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how Achieved plays this Vigil, though. Contrast how things are going with compared to
5
Canadian.
seconds remaining.
That's for sure.
Achieved is managing to
Attackers
sneak
have
around.
recovered their diffuser. Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
And
it.
Canadian the Ash is fairly interesting, actually. I know they're putting him on more of a frag role nowadays, but
He's played quite a bit of Ash. I mean, him and NVK seem to kind of share it.
yeah, I think he's been a bit more successful on that compared to MVK. Ooh, as I say that, Achieved will find him. And he's not sure about the kill. He's trying to go for the finisher. And no, it's Young to find the kill, as now he holds the angle. And they can, at any point in time, go and pick Canadian up. And there you go. He's back at 50% health. The loss of one, and the second here on Bio. Beautiful play from Evil Geniuses at Necrox. Again on the Jackal. Try to get the angle on the Legion, but fall back for just a bit. Canadian, in the meantime, destroying the softball.
Well, he is half health, but that is definitely going to start to open up some angles here and put some pressure on. Tomas holding maybe too wide of an angle here with the shotgun. Tries to chase one, actually downs. NVK goes to finish the job, but too greedy, gets punished for it. At least does land the kill. Maybe worth it, but that is the smoke down, and now a 4v2. Well, a 3v2 really, unless Gotcha gets picked back up. If he is down, he might have 1 HP. Hard to see. Yeah. Oh, he can pick himself up. What am I saying?
But he'll only be up, you know, with a bit of health. Canadian should be the one to
Oh,
go
absolutely.
for that sort
But
of thing.
you know, if he needs to, Canadian though checking the window first just to be sure. But he's gonna get it back up to that 50 HP. So not looking great here for staving off match point for Excelerate. Minute and a half left, which is a lot of time, but at least Schlongi able to take down 1. Now down to a 3v2. Definitely doable for Excelerate, as these are the 2 of the players that have been potentially doing the most damage for their team, so the 2 to be left might make this possible.
All right, Necrox picking on the outside here by the fish tank. We talked about the shark and the fish tank. That was Mark the shark. And Gotcha's setting up as well to use his Gzmots to the other side of the site. Of course, there's a lot of soft walls next to it, so he can use those to his advantage. Smoke will make it a bit more difficult to see through. Schlongi will take a bit more damage here, playing the Legion. Necrox will find the kill, and the last one for Necrox as well. Crusher will get domed, and EG very close now to victory. Only 1 round away. That's not a great spot to be in if you're EXG. Again, I want to reiterate something that Michael Kicks was saying last night. It's like, yeah, but you're playing against G2. And I want to say the same thing here. Yeah, but you're playing against EG. So how much damage can you expect to do? That's the question, especially against a team that is very comfortable playing on Coastline, especially on the attacking side.
Well, here's the beautiful thing for Excelerate. This is not a single elimination. This is not a double elimination. This is a double league format, essentially, where they get 2 chances against every team. They get a lot of time to learn. So what do? You play against the best early on. This is actually the best thing they could be doing, is playing to the top of the game that they know against the top team in North America, and seeing what they learn from it, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, seeing what they could do better next time. Better now than towards the end.
Very true.
So this is actually a very good experience for them, whether they win or lose. Skewing a bit towards lose, but neither way. If they can take any more rounds, it's just that much better for them, but it is not the most important thing here. Points are great, but the important thing is not being in 7th or 8th place at the end of the season.
As Obey could testify.
10 seconds left before insertion.
You know, it has to happen to one team in the current format. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we don't have more than 8 slots.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Nope, but hey, you know, these teams come from Challenger League, and sometimes they
go
return
back.
to Challenger League. We recycle them. Mulch them.
It is Earth year, right? We gotta save the planet.
Right.
You only have 1 planet, right? You only have 1 Pro League.
Captain Planet.
Oh, I missed that show so much. I had a friend that his online name was Captain Planet. It was hilarious. I don't know what happened to him. He was a great pilot.
Well, that makes me think of an unfortunate ending.
All right, well, maybe it wasn't so great as a pilot.
Maybe he has returned to the Earth.
What goes up must come down.
Right. The Challenger League gravity returns.
All right. Okay. Well, gravity will fall here as Canadian will go back on the Ash, and he's trying to move through the blue stairs now. He's got control of it, and he hears the Jaeger firing downstairs. So you can find the kill and Crusher there. That's exactly what he'll need to open up the site for his teammates. Now, they have to do this as a team, and Necrox takes a ton of damage in the engagement, but more than enough to make things work. And Necrox, again, low on health, but he does it again and again and again. How is this man allow you to do so much damage?
It's what he's meant to do.
Necrox, Mr. Ammar al-Banna. Beautiful, beautiful. Just fantastic, Habib. So good.
Well, Necrox, the only one, I was going to say low on health, but he's downed now, and Young nearly in that place himself, and he's the diffuse carrier, so.
There you go. Smoke will finish him off, so Thomas will be the one to dispatch Necrox. Young is low on health at the same time. He's got to worry about that. Chief will bump himself up to full HP.
Young might actually consider going for the reset. There is some time left. There is going to go for that because he was the defuse carrier as well as his utility potentially being vital.
I like how careful NVK is to not move until his teammates are in a better position.
Absolutely. Don't compromise yourself while you've got 2 people busy.
Oh, and there you go. He's got 1 busy. Gonna clean him up. It's now 4v2 advantage for EG. Remember, they only need this 1 round, and potentially these 2 kills will be more than enough for the team, as he knows there's a player to engage behind the desk. Canadian will get 1. Shotgun to the face from Thomas as he 360s and goes in for the kill. Looks good, but unfortunately not enough to win it. Young will finish Thomas off, and EXG will drop the game 7-1. Advantage for Evil Geniuses, and again, EG will get the win. Look at Necrox on top.
Yeah, like it's a role we haven't seen him play a ton of, if I remember right, but definitely something that he plays well.
Not too bad. He's an okay player.
Yeah, I mean, he was, I don't want to say that he is the first one downed, but 12 kills for him. A smoke definitely working out for him as well.
You know, not as good as Rampy, but
at this point, that is the bar for the night, isn't it? And that wasn't against the slouch of a team or anything. That was definitely against a real tough nut to crack.
Well,
and they still even tied out of that.
Hopefully we can ask about what EG thought was the more difficult part of pushing through their opponents, I have to say.
Yeah, I would be interested to hear kind of their assessment of Excelerate as a newer team here, especially knowing 2 of the members having played with them.
Interestingly enough, because tomorrow we also have North America Play Day, which is January 14th in around 21 hours, 20 hours, 56 minutes, and 10 seconds.
I feel like Pro League's turned into a live countdown now.
Yeah, that's my life in a nutshell right now. Well, Rogue will play against EG, which is our first game tomorrow, which means Kixen and Taro will love that. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna. Oh, hello. We didn't get a call for the interview. Hey, Gotcha, what's up? Can you hear me? Renton. Renton. Drop. No. Yikes. What is this, Pro League or what? Can we pump up the volume? Okay, we're gonna go back to us, and we're gonna wait until he can hear us, and then we'll go back to him. Hopefully.
I thought he was furiously clicking to get back to the window.
I didn't hear a call for the interview either. I'm like, oh, suddenly I can't hear you, and your lips are moving. Like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
That's kind of my dream.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, at least we know who we're talking to, so that's good. Usually it's someone else, but good to hear from Gotcha.
Yeah, it's always nice to talk to Gotcha.
Especially since he played. It's not like Ranger where he's just talking about what he's doing.
All right, don't get me started, Tristan. Oh, God. So there you go. We are trying to get that fixed in the meantime, but I have to say, again, tomorrow, EG will play against Rogue, which will be very, very interesting, and EXG will play against Orglis, which actually will be a pretty fun game. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
So 1 game to go for tonight. It's Rise Nation versus Orglis, so we'll see how that goes as well. Rise Nation, they lost 7-4 to Dark Zero. They played on Oregon. I want to blame it on the fact that Dark Zero kind of played tower so many times, so I'm very interested to see that. But what was very fun in watching the previous game is the amount of flexibility that EG brought to the table.
I mean, they were definitely willing to switch up on the fly as needed. Not sure who was shot calling during the match in terms of making those calls and whatnot and switching the operators. I mean, I've definitely heard that regardless of who the IGL is, there's always Troy offering his input.
As usual.
So
would make a lot of sense, right? Always present on the table. So, yeah.
In this case, though, with Gotcha actually in the team playing, I could imagine he was also offering quite a bit of input. He was also brought on the team. Some coaches are brought on to help motivate players or work with personal problems and things like that. He was definitely brought on the team, especially for his smarts in terms of like strategy and analysis as well.
And that's also a thing, you mentioned it, and it's a very important topic I'd like to address here. What a lot of people don't understand is that as a professional player, and no matter what thing you play, sports, esports, whatever it may be, there's a lot of mental stress on you that you have to deal with, but also that mental stress, scientifically speaking, stress is defined into negative and positive stress, but it also affects you not just mentally, but physically. And this is something that myself, as someone that has kind of worked in that field with some professionals, at least in the sports district, it was always very interesting to see how the professionals were able to go through that and fix this sort of stress. It's a very deep topic that I'd like to explore someday. But we have our interview ready, so let's see if Renton will drop.
Hello, hello. How
Good
are
evening,
you guys?
Gotcha. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Well, congratulations on your victory now against your opponents of EXG. Again, they are the newcomers into Pro League via Challenger League. Both Achieved and Biologics played the one game with the squad to try and qualify to U.S. Nationals, which is indeed what had happened just a couple of months ago. A few questions I'd like to ask, starting off with, who was IGLing during this matchup since you were coming in replacing Gio?
Sure. Yeah, Troy's always our primary IGL. I certainly offered input, just had a couple thoughts here and there, but Troy's calling it pretty much all the way through.
Ah, very interesting. This leads into the second point, which is the most fun part of watching this match, at least from our perspective, seeing EG and how they're playing, is the flexibility of roles between, especially you, Canadian, and NVK. How is that decided during the round, and especially when you say you had your own input on the calls, but Canadian was kind of making those entry calls for the whole squad?
Right. So Troy and myself are really flexible players, as well as Nate. We can pretty much play any operator that's given to us. Obviously, we've practiced with certain ops, Nate on certain ops, Gio on certain ops, and Troy on certain ops. So we kind of just stick within our rotation of what we're known to do and what we do best. Sometimes we'll just call for Troy to go on Ash because he loves Ash, but apart from that. Yeah, of course. But yeah, so we have a small rotation, and we just go through the rotation, basically.
All right, makes a lot of sense here. Final question. The game was kind of fast, 7-1 to your advantage. So some of the rounds were fairly close, however, especially earlier on in the matchup. What I'd like to ask you is, from your perspective as a player that was in the matchup and also as a coach, what did you see were strengths that EXG showed in the game?
Well, they definitely seem to be able to drone each other out really, really well, and they obviously in their mind they have a really good execute in mind. They just weren't able to really execute on it because we got our picks and did what was necessary. But yeah, I mean, I actually used to be on former EXG when they were orgless, and Bio is a really smart IGL overall. I know that he's always coming up with new strategies, and so they did catch us off guard here and there. It is a very attacker-sided map, but I thought we just played off each other on defense very, very well.
Very true. It was very impressive the way the whole team was able to just maneuver around the map as a whole unit somehow. It's just, from our perspective, being able to see it from top down and seeing how everything's moving on the board is just, it's always a very interesting thing to see from this sort of perspective. Anyways, anything you'd like to say to the fans that were avidly watching your matchup tonight?
Yeah, today was a little bit of a fluke, actually. Gio got food poisoning, believe it or not.
Man.
So, yeah, so last minute, I had to step in for Gio. So I hope that Gio's feeling better. In terms of all of our EG fans, just thank you for the continued support and love. We love performing at a high level, and you can just expect big things for us from Invitational and the rest of this Pro League half as well. So, thank you.
Can't wait to see you there. Maybe some very wholesome bread that is being prepared for the Invitational, that's for sure. Anyways, thank you very much, Gotcha, and congratulations again on your victory against ESG, 7-1 on Coastline, our third time this evening. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.